I've been slacking. I've been busy. Life has been great. The weather has been even better. Um, we got to get back into YouTube here, guys. I'm going to do another reaction video. Hopefully start off with a couple more videos here, and we can get a little bit of lulls in, and we'll get a little bit more education coming to you very, very soon after this. Hopefully we can pick apart part of this strategy here. We're going to be looking at Project Group Millionaire, I believe his name is, and we're going to be looking at that jackpot strategy there that he came up with, and I just want to see if it's all that it raves to be. Some people sent this to me hoping that it was actually going to be a good strategy. With a name like Jackpot Strategy, it's got to be ridiculous. So let's jump into it. All right, there's this barcode.
Hey, this is Jackpot here. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to use the jackpot strategy to find confirmation to make a decision to buy or sell in the Forex market. And of course, you guys know the jackpot strategy is based off 3 major indicators. And
Wait. He said right off the bat, of course you guys know. But how would we know if we haven't learned the actual strategy yet? Anyways.
that's 3 major indicators. I actually have one more indicator that I will be adding to the strategy to be able to even better help our members right now make more profit than they're already making right now with this strategy. So as you can see right now on my screen, I already mark up my charts for GBP USD, USD CAD, and Euro JPY. Okay, so now I'm just simply going to use this strategy to find confirmations for entries. And of course, this is just one indicator from the jackpot strategy that I'm going to use to show you all how I can find potential entries and exit points in the market. So I'm going to go ahead and hide.
Alright guys, he's got Ichimoku Cloud up there, and my understanding of Ichimoku Cloud is, somewhat basic, but I can basically teach you what I know about it. It's essentially going to be a trend following system, and the logic behind it was that you would get the majority of trend based moves, and you essentially want to be above or below the cloud and then just simply be following those trends, looking for different crossovers. There's another thing that people like to use is also edge to edge cloud based trades. So it's essentially if it enters the cloud portion, this area right here, it will touch the opposite side of the cloud. The other thing people look for is flat lines, are often represented of the 50% fib marker, and people like to think of those as a slight magnet tool. So if you see a flat line on an Ichimoku Cloud, it's most likely going to reverse into that fib line. But these things are just kind of like rough guidelines, and they're not actually a good way to be trading the strategy alone, unless you're just basically following the trend and you're looking for those trend following systems, and then your close out of the trade once the TK cross or whatever it's called there actually crosses, which is these 2 lines there. You would close out of the trade for a nice little profit, hopefully. That's basically the gist of the Ichimoku Cloud. Let's see what he explains it as.
Hide my analysis here to prevent noise in the market. So let's go ahead and hide that. Now take a look here to why I'm expecting price to sell. Now, I don't just think price is going to sell just because I say it's going to sell. I actually have confirmation to support my idea of why price is going to sell. Now, notice here on the daily time frame, price is literally underneath Ichimoku Cloud itself, represented as a resistance zone. Price is underneath all sorts of moving averages, moving average yellow and white, which comes in the Ichimoku Cloud. So now if I zoom in a little bit more, before I even do that, notice the color of the cloud change red. By the way, when you see the cloud change green, it's going to buy, just like right here. And when it changes red, it's going to sell. So I already know price is going to sell, just like I knew when it was going to buy right here. Color change. And right here,
all right, so first of all, I got a problem just with how he's basically wording this. This is incredibly basic. It's just kind of a moving average crossover. The cloud is actually a moving average in itself that's just been filled in, essentially. So you would draw these as a moving average, right? And it's essentially a moving average cross using a certain moving average indicator. So we can't say for sure that it's going to go up or down because it's now crossed over, because you could just consolidate for a long period of time. These other crosses are more like lagging moving averages that you would then use to know when to get out of the position, and it's just basically a trend following system. But I'm just a little bit worried about how he's approaching this, and he's saying it quite clearly that, you know, when it crosses you should buy, and that's generally not right to just go about it blindly like that, having that very omnipotent point of view.
I could see prices going to sell because cloud changed color on the daily time frame, which is very strong because the higher time frame have more value than the lower time frame. So in this scenario here, zoomed in, you could clearly see why price have to sell. Now, it's underneath resistance zone and also underneath this resistance zone. Worst case scenario, price would buy and reach this resistance zone where I would add another nice lot size for a sell. That's the worst case scenario that can happen.
Okay.
And
no. You got to be careful here, guys. You got to be really, really careful. There's a few things he just said that just, you know, they're kind of sparking with me. And he's saying worst case scenario is the first one. That means he's talking in this all-seeing, no other possibility is possible. Anyone who talks to you in a sense that says for sure something's going to happen, you don't trust them. It's such a good marketing sales strategy or whatever, saying, okay, you know that you're going to be safe or something like this, and you always don't know what's going to happen no matter what. The market could literally do anything at any point in time, and it only takes one person with a lot of money to make that decision. The next thing that he's talking about is he's using moving averages as a resistance line. Now, it can be used as a general resistance area. So if you're using a very large moving average, like the 200 EMA or something like this, and you just generally want to be following that as it goes along. Let me jump onto the bigger camera here as I'm actually talking. I got to get used to switching back to the bigger camera there. But the problem is that the moving averages, they're constantly moving based off of where the candles are. So there's no way that there's somebody with big order sizes sitting there following the moving averages. People with a lot of money, they place their order somewhere and they let it sit. So they're not going in and they're basically watching the market trying to snipe a moving average bounce. It's going to be a very rough area, and it's a very, very bad idea to just basically use those as entry points. And the next thing that he just said is that he's adding positions on that second moving average. Adding positions is a very bad idea because you're not accepting losses, or rather I should say adding to your position in a loser. You're not accepting your loss and you're trying to average out of it so that you can then get into a better position. If you keep averaging in, then you're going to eventually blow your account. Very simple, guys. Let's jump back.
These moving averages actually move with the charts as they start going. All right, so already I got entries and confirmation on the daily time frame. Again, you could see price is fully underneath the cloud and also underneath moving averages. So those are confirmations for sell. It's underneath the roof. H4 time frame shows you even better. Look, you can see overall price is on a downtrend. And
oh crap, man, my internet went out mid-sentence there. Completely forgotten what I was talking about, but let's continue.
The cloud, every time it's underneath the cloud, it pushes down a little bit more. Like right here, it pushes down a little bit more. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen here. Price to push down a little bit more. This line would just give me an entry. This line would give me an entry. That's how I add lot size on my trades. H1 time frame, take a look as well. All right, on the H1 time frame, it's above the cloud and above moving averages. So there's no real entries here besides the higher time frame. But the cloud itself is still red. So therefore, there is a potential for more bearish movement to happen. What we want to happen, you see how price fall nicely underneath the cloud with the moving averages, pushing it, making sure it's going in the right direction. That's what we want to see on the daily time frame and H4 time frame, so we could make money in this trade. And again, one thing Two, the way we know how to hold our.
So the problem I have with trading something like the cloud trading style here is the way he's explaining it. Essentially, it's just very abstract. Like, it doesn't have very clean cut rules to follow. He's just saying, you know, how it looks very clean that it's below the cloud or something like that, you know. And these, in my mind, is not how somebody should be trading if they're going based off of feel of something, because then you never really know for sure, and it's very easy to get stuck into like a strategy slip where you start slowly doing the wrong thing and you're not following your rules anymore.
Trade is because if we get in a sell here, which we did and made money last week, if we get in a sell here, not only I'm in a sell, I know I am right because price is underneath resistance on Ichimoku cloud, but also I could see price literally the moving average holding price together, making sure that it's going in the right direction. You see that? Price is the white and yellow moving average holding it to make it sure it's go down. And then once it's done,
man, I don't think he understands how a moving average works. It just follows the price. It's not like it's doing anything. It just follows it. So it's not holding nothing. It just follows the price. And that's a very tight moving average that is going to be touching it nearly all the time. It's always going to be holding it.
It crossed back up, then you get out. Before all this happened, because it crossed above, you would already get out, because you know when price is underneath, it sell. When price is above, it buy. So in this scenario, you would have got out yourself, maybe getting a buy, because price was above Ichimoku cloud.
Now, see, guys, come on. He just contradicted himself. He said he would get into a buy here. This is why I hate strategies like this, because he literally just said the cloud is red in a previous example, so we won't be buying it. We'll be looking for a sell. But then, now that he's looking in the past here, and he's got that 2020 past vision there where he knows everything that's going to happen, he says, okay, now it's a good buy because it went up, right? But it's still red. It's still in that downtrend. And just because it crossed over here doesn't mean it's not going to just cross right back over, and you're going to get completely chopped up. And that's why I do not like moving averages. Moving average based trading is very dumb unless you're just doing very long-term trend following systems.
On the H1 time frame. And it also shows on the 30-minute time frame as well. No, you see how nicely it sold underneath the cloud and then bought above the cloud? That's what the strategy do. It gives you entries and exit. So you would enter a sell here, get out your sell there, get in a buy, make money. That's it.
No, man, he's contradicting himself.
It's really that simple. All right? But you need to analyze the charts first before you could even.
All right, guys, we're going to make this strategy better because that's what I like to do there. You know, kind of poke fun at the strategy and then see if we can actually give some sort of advice so that you guys can actually take his strategy and make money with it, because what he's telling you right now will not make money. I'm pretty much sure of that, because he's saying that you flip back and forth between buying and selling based off of these crossovers. And, you know, he could have more detail into that. He could be saying, okay, I want to look for the crossover when it's above the cloud, or look for the crossover when it's below the cloud for a sell or for a buy if it's above the cloud, things like that. And so we can make it a little bit more strict that way. But essentially, he's just buying and selling back and forth. That's not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is check out the higher time frame. So if you want to be day trading something like this, check out the 4 hour or the 1 hour, something like that, right? And then look at where that cloud is heading. If, let's say, for example, it's below the cloud, it's all red, it's looking nice, looking juicy, whatever, doesn't matter what you want to call it, you want to get into a sell there. Then what you do is you're going to jump to the 5 or the 15 minutes, something much lower. Then you're going to look for the retracement up so that it now turns green. So we've now had a solid retracement. We're coming back into an uptrend on the 5 minute, right? Not on the 4 hour or the 1 hour yet. That 4 hour, 1 hour is still going to stay red, and then we see it convert back to red. Now, what does that tell us? That tells us that we just got into a really great pullback. So we got into a great retracement in an actual downtrend. And then we can jump back into that downtrend with strong conviction, a very strong likelihood that the trend is going to continue in our favor. You need to use multiple time frames in that sense. You should be better than how he's explaining it.
Even add this to your chart. All right, so I'm expecting GBP USD to sell this coming week based on my analysis. Okay, next, USD CAD. On the daily time frame, the reason why I think price is going to buy, because it's fully above the cloud. Let's hide the analysis so it don't create much noise. Here we could see price is fully above the Ichimoku cloud itself. And not only that, right? Price, let's go into it right here. Price is above cloud and everything, but also changed color to green right here. You see that? The daily time frame is giving you indication. So that's really strong. Worst case scenario.
Okay, so now this is what I'm suggesting for you guys there, is now that you see that daily confirmation, it's well above and it's turning green. Now what we do is we saw that it is actually retracing right now. We want to jump down to the 15-minute, and then we want to look for that pullback and then that pull back into the uptrend where it's well above and green on that 15-minute, and then you should be able to see. So as you can see, we have this red pullback here. I guarantee, I can't actually go into it, I guarantee that that is a downtrend on the 15-minute using the same cloud logic. We'll now see it pull back above here, and it'll be roughly around that area where you would get in, right? Maybe out here, or it could continue down. It could even continue all the way down to this flat line. I said something about that being the 50% fib. That's actually the 50% fib on this ratio there. You can measure it out if you want. This is the 50% between those two. That's how the cloud actually works. And it could be somewhere around here, and then it could bounce up there, and then you could get into a really great retracement rather than buying a top and then hoping for higher prices.
Price may sell a little bit more, test my support, which I could clearly see, and then I'll add a nice dollar lot plus on this to be able to make the buy move. And guys, it haven't happened yet, but when it happened, you're gonna be like, oh man, this thing was actually right. The analysis was right. The jackpot strategy already told me that I'm right before, way before the move happened. This is why I'm able to make money. I'm not stressed. I'm not guessing. When Monday comes, I'm not going to be stressed and guessing if I should sell or buy USD CAD. I'm going to see where it's at. And if it's right here, that's the best buy opportunity ever. And I will be able to make money long term.
Man, this guy's certainty in how he talks actually really bothers me. That's kind of a pet peeve, that you don't know these things. You don't know. And using a moving average is like one of the worst ways to have some sort of certainty, because a moving average is always changing. So it just doesn't really make sense. You'd be better off just waiting for a conversion back to the upside after the pullback on a lower time frame. It's so simple. And rather than just randomly guessing where it's going to be, because we don't know. That's the thing. He thinks that he knows. He doesn't know. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Long term, guys. You want to be able to do this over and over. And this have worked for me over the past couple of years. This is why I'm so confident that it will work for you as well. H4 time frame. Take a look as well. Notice why price. You're going to see why price bought. Look. Price bought because it was above the cloud. How can you deny this? How can you say this don't work? You could clearly see what's going on here. You could clearly see what's going on, right? Price is above the Ichimoku cloud, which is why it bought. And this is why my analysis was correct, right? My analysis was correct because I expected price to buy, and it was above cloud, and it bought for me. And I was right. Cloud changed green, profit. Moving averages, holding the trade for me together, making sure that it goes up. Even right here, you would know to get out because price is now underneath moving averages and now underneath the cloud. So you would want to get out your buy. So right now, it's not clear for a buy on this time frame right now. It's not.
So here's the thing, man. So here's the thing. I'm starting to get bored with this video already. I think he's going to basically just repeat it all. He's specifically chosen pairs that had really strong trending markets for that week or that month or whatever. He even showed us at the beginning. He said, I've picked out some. Let's jump into some analysis on just a random chart and look what the cloud actually shows us. I'm not saying the cloud doesn't work. It's just there's also downsides, because if it goes flat, you will lose a ton of money. Alright guys, I've just jumped on Euro USD. It was the first chart that popped up here, and I removed the lagging span and the TK cross lines so that it's a little bit cleaner here, because I do have a lot of actual horizontal lines drawn out that I have high value in. But if we just look at this randomly and we say basically when it's going above and below the cloud, you can see that right here it's going cleanly above the cloud, right? So he's saying that we would buy here and then we would close out of it when we see a cross back over here. You know, there's probably a TK cross somewhere below here, but you can see that that's going to be a huge loss right there. And then right again, you know, you might get into a sell here, because that's what he's telling you. It basically just buys and sells, and he flips back and forth. So then he would be selling this downtrend and it would just completely fuck him over again. And then he would be buying that because look, it's quite green above, it's green, and he would just get chopped up again. Let's go here, zoom in here. I bet on the smaller time frame this kind of chops you up there. So now you're in a sell, and guess what? It doesn't go anywhere. It goes back up to the upside, and you've been chopped out once again. And I wonder what's going to happen here now that we see a green. You know, we see some green now. It's well above. What do? We're going to wait for a pullback to that moving average line and then see what happens there. Well, you know, it's possible, but what just happened? What literally just happened over and over again? The moving averages, they don't work if it's going sideways. You will lose everything. You will completely get chopped up.
The clearest for a buy. But this is why I said I'm expecting maybe a small little push down towards the next support zone on the daily time frame, and it's there. If I go on the daily time frame, even if price do sell, it has to test support. It have to deal with this line first to see if it's gonna buy or sell before it could really go the right direction. Me, I'm expecting a sell. Higher high, higher low, higher high. So we'll see what happens. All right, last pair on this one is Euro JPY. Euro JPY, I already have my analysis and everything set up. I'm simply just gonna hide the analysis to prevent noise. And look at this, so neat, so clear. I cannot deny this. I'm so excited to take UJ sell. And you guys going to see me make money on EJ sell because I know where price is going. It's not me that know. Ichimoku Cloud know. The indicators know. The rest of the indicators on the jackpot strategy know. It's not me.
Guys, I gotta stop this video. So, my feedback with this guy, he is very, very he's certain with how the market is going to play out with the Ichimoku Cloud, and the Ichimoku Cloud is not a godsend. The problem with it is that if it goes sideways, you will get chopped up, and the best way that we can mitigate this is to look at the multiple time frames, and then to be able to jump into that major trend, and then just kind of scalp that major trend on the smaller time frame. Not necessarily scalping, but use the smaller time frame, ride that major trend. That's the best way we can do it. And if you're seeing that sideways chop action, then you will not actually be able to do anything, and you'll have to skip that pair going on to the next one. The issue with his strategy here is that he's not talking about that at all. He's just basically talking about the rules of Ichimoku Cloud, which I've watched a video on Ichimoku Cloud from multiple people, and it's the exact same thing that I learned from multiple people, except he's now coined this the jackpot strategy, and that's what he's selling to you. Is he's selling you a brand name version of the jackpot strategy, and it doesn't work the same way that it doesn't work with these other guys that have taught you the same thing that they've heard from somebody else. they need to dive deeper and they need to apply something else to it. You can't just simply use that one indicator on one time frame blindly without any actual market knowledge. This is very simple. You're not going to get anywhere with it unless you're lucky and the market just trends. That's my time, guys. My name is Hunter. This is Hunter FX. If you do like my content, please make sure you click the link in the description below. Join the Discord, join the community, talk to your friends and families and everything in there. We've now become this close-knit family that we all just love making fun of each other and how stupid we are on a day-to-day basis. It's great. Also, please, if you want some signals, check out the Signal group. We currently have just a couple of days left of the free trial that you can jump in on that if you are watching this new here. Other than that, you might have to actually pay for it. I don't know. Who knows? It's going to be a really great group, and we are posting the results. If multiple traders are doing this stuff. It's not just me. These are proven back record traders that I've been watching for years, and they have been posting amazing results. Last week we got 17R. So far this week I'm up about 4 or 5R, and it's only Tuesday right now, and I'm not even trading right now. For the past week I haven't even traded. I've just been doing my analysis, telling people what I think, but I'm just following these guys because they're doing better than me right now. So why would I trade my own trades when I have to follow these guys right now? There's a lot going on. We will get back to my own trades very quickly though, because I do love the game of trading. That being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this content. I'll see you guys next time.